Hello! Welcome to another Star Wars The Old Republic video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about vendors, and we're going to go over quite a few different topics with the vendors. We're going to look at vendors for gearing up, where they are on different planets, what different item level ratings you can get so you can progress your gear a little bit faster. We're going to talk about Kai'Zaiken vendor, if you didn't know who he is already. We're going to talk a little bit about where you can get some crafting stuff with different vendors who will sell you that kind of stuff. We'll talk about some specialty vendors, which I think are kind of unique and interesting, just to highlight a few. There are so many. We're going to just talk about a few. And we're going to go over some of the highlights in the Cartel Bazaar, if you don't know about that, and a few other little things that will help you with decorations, cosmetic items, stuff like that. So yeah, I just want to say thanks again to the Patreons who support me. That is amazing. It blows my mind that I'm not even specifically making a big push, don't have reward tiers, and people are still like, you know what? I want to throw you a little bit something to help you out. So everybody else who's not doing that, don't worry. I think you guys are great too. I love seeing your comments on my videos. It's been a lot of fun responding to stuff lately, seeing just how much the channel growth is. So yeah, let's get into the actual video before you guys get a little too bored. Alright, we find ourselves on the Imperial fleet. There are a lot of different places you can find a lot of different vendors, but what we're going to do first is going up to the supply section of fleet, and we're going to be taking a look at the vendors that can help you gear up as you make your progress through the game if you're finding that you're a little bit underpowered or not all of your gear is keeping up just from what you collect in the story. So right away we have the adaptive gear vendor. This allows you to buy empty shells that you can modify to put stuff in. You can also use these for your costumes as a cheap way to get some additional inspiration for costumes and looks for your character, customize them to the exact way that you want them to look. Once you've bought those, you can go around to these different item modification vendors, different item ratings, so that is another way to get some higher item ratings. These guys, not so good over there, but if we head on down and keep going, we're going to find the highest level item rating you can get from these vendors, and it's not too bad at item rating 220. Now, if you've already kind of passed that point and you've hit level 70 and you're looking for better gear than item rating 220, well, you might want to take your ship and cruise over to Ossus. Now, this is a little bit confusing sometimes on the Imperial side to get around. The main thing you want to know is you need to go down the elevators to access the vendors that we're looking for. There are a few things up top, but generally not too much that's too useful. We're going to get off here and we're going to go to this little building to our right immediately, and there's going to be two different vendors here that you need to purchase from for your gear. So the first part is you've got your first vendor, which is going to let you buy 252 gear. So you're going to buy a piece of that, and you can just stop there if you want. But even better, if you have a little bit of extra money to spend, you can go here and you can convert that 252 to a piece of 258. So you can get yourself 258. And there are also special set bonuses which you can acquire that are active from level 70 to 74, and you get them here on Ossus as well. Alright, so you finished leveling yourself up to level 75 and that Ossus gear is no longer very useful for you. Well, head on over to the Spoils of War vendor and you can buy stuff, and it's going to be either at your current item rating or a minimum of 270, and it's pretty much going to be a guaranteed upgrade every time you buy something from here. It takes tech frags, so we'll take off our gear, get to item rating 218, and then we will go ahead and we'll buy ourselves an unidentified chest piece, yes, and it's going to be item rating 270. So you can boost yourself to an item rating 270 set immediately when you hit 75, and then work your way up through the gearing ladder after that. Let's talk about the stuff that you can get for yourself for crafting purposes. We're going to head over to the Stronghold and Crew Skill section because there is a vendor here where you can buy some stuff that helps you with crafting materials. Interesting thing to note, if you hop into your Legacy and you unlock Advanced Field Repair Droid, you will also be able to access purchasing these specific crafting materials from that vendor as well, so you can pop your own down instead of having to travel to fleet or a planet that has these. These are generally ones that you only have one mission per grade to attempt, so it's a very good idea to pick up these ones from this vendor. So we're going to use our handy dandy quick travel button, and we are going to take ourselves to the Cartel Bazaar on fleet to look for the next vendors to help us shore up some of those missing crafting materials. Turning around, we can wander over to this big red storage crate and find ourselves a few Jawas, and these Jawas will sell you green, blue, and purple crafting materials of all the different grades. The grade 11 ones are very expensive, so I don't ever buy them from these vendors unless I'm in a real big pinch and just want a few, but it's a great way to find some of the lower grade crafting materials for a lot cheaper than going on the GTN. You get these from scrap. Scrap is easily gotten from either using the deconstruct button to deconstruct gear that you don't need, or slicing missions is also another way that I get them as well. Lots of ways to get there, lots of useful stuff. One thing I really do want to point out, because I don't know any other way to get it in the game, is the refined isotope stabilizers can be found on this vendor as well. I use those for crafting dark projects. Speaking of dark projects, let's finish our adventures on the crafting vendors and let's head over to Odessen. Alright, we're going to turn right, we're going to head towards the Star Fortress area, and we're going to take the elevator down to the Lion staging room! So there are some interesting flashpoints down here: Anathema, Conspiracy, Tris, Chisambara. So we're looking for the recovered goods vendor. And right here you can find your Iolcath recombiners that are also part of the process of trying to make dark projects. Save yourself some money compared to buying them on the GTN. And let's get into the section about our specialty vendors while we're here, and look at this. You can get Invitation Traders Quarter. This is actually the Umbara Stronghold. 3 million credits roughly, and then it's only about a couple more million credits to unlock the remaining rooms on the Stronghold. It's a bit of an odd stronghold, the fact that it is a moving train from the Flashpoint, but it's a very cheap way to unlock a stronghold for the stronghold bonus for your conquesting purposes. And if you like it, well, you like it. So go ahead, decorate it, or just use it to get that conquest bonus a little bit easier. So continuing our theme with specialty vendors, let's head over to the crew skills and stronghold section of Fleet. Just think, strongholds are related to conquest and it makes a little bit more sense. So we're going to go in the final room on the map, and this will allow us to see the conquest vendors. So one of the really cool things that I use a lot of times to save me just some time, because credits are not as important to me, is the Commander's Compendium. So this is a Cartel market item which will instantly level your companion to 50. Generally, people try and sell these on the GTN for around 80 million. You can just have 3 dark projects and 4.25 million credits and you're going to be able to get one. It's a much better deal. It's definitely a lot more expensive than coming to somewhere like the Jawa vendor to buy a bunch of companion gifts, or going to the regular vendor on Fleet to buy companion gifts and just sitting here right-clicking, giving your companion gifts. But again, it's a much more convenient way to do it. So if you're somebody who likes playing the game a lot and you've already got a lot of credit, why not spoil yourself a little bit, cut down on the extra time of having to sit there giving your companion gifts, and get on with playing the stuff you really enjoy. So the other area that you can look at spending some tech frags are on a few different vendors. So we've got a mount vendor that gives you a variety of different mounts so you can take a look at and see if any of them suit your needs. And we've also got a pets vendor, so you can buy some pretty nice looking pets, including this fiery Groffet. He is the bane of my existence and has caused me to wipe on a few different raids. Anyways, carrying on, let's go take a look and head over to Osis, because actually on Osis you can find a few other vendors which also accept tech frags to buy decorations. So we're pretty much in the same place, just on the Republic side. You can buy all of your gear vendors over there. The tech frag vendor will allow you to basically just buy decorations for your strongholds. And while you're here, do stop and enjoy a little bit of the scenery and help defend your fellow Jedis. The next part of our adventure takes us to Corellia, and why are we here? Well, they have a really cool item on one of their social vendors. The majority of the planets, there is a social vendor which you can go and find some really unique items. They're usually themed around that planet for cosmetic gear that you can wear on your character, and sometimes they'll have some unique items. Corellia, not disappointing in that department. They have the Galactic Party Bomb. If you have social 10, or social X as they like to call it as a level, you too can throw it down and have a mini dance party wherever you want to go. And our tour of vendors brings us back to Fleet. There are just so many vendors on Fleet. There are a lot that I'm not going to cover, but we're back in the Cartel Bazaar to show you the Underworld Exchange vendors. Now these ones, you're going to have to find someone with a contraband slot machine. You can buy the tokens to play it from the basic decoration vendor that you can get for your strongholds and so on, and you can get the rep that way. And you can use your Cartel Market Certificate to buy some very nice premium items, and some items only take credit. Generally, you're going to find cosmetic items, mounts, health regen tools, and a few other really interesting things on these vendors. So definitely go take a look. I know I've bought quite a few things myself. The other thing to note about the Cartel Bazaar is this is where the different reputation vendors are going to hang out. So you've got your Bounty Broking Association, your GRI event, and so on when you're looking for that. One last little thing we want to do before we leave the Cartel Bazaar for good is we want to look at this little droid right here. He gives you a mercenary contract, and this mission will allow you to unlock this companion, Treek. Treek is a great little companion. She is freaking amazing. I love her healing animations, so I highly suggest you go and pick yourself up a Treek. And there's a lot of different conversation dialogues that you get to have with Treek as well while playing through, just like your original class companion. So definitely highly suggest making sure you get this companion if you can. There are also multiple planets which will allow you to gain rep with those planets, and you can go find a variety of these vendors when you visit those planets, and usually those vendors are going to be located near the spawn point for that faction. Reputation vendors on planets like Osis, Onderon, and quite a few other planets, they will give you a variety of things ranging from cosmetic gear that you can wear to weapons that you can put on for looks, things like decorations for your stronghold, and maybe even a different mount. Who's a good boy? Yeah, I know you are. Alright, I hope you liked this short but interesting look at some of the vendors you can find in Star Wars: The Old Republic. As always, have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.